I had a very good university education for the very simple reason I was not the library type, There are many students attend lecture, attend tutorial, go library, go home. And they repeat the same process.
Welcome to our second episode of Spotlight series, the podcast that empowers aspiring business undergraduates to kickstart their business journey and turn their dreams into reality. I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm Yuhan.
And today we have an exciting episode packed with valuable insights, tips, and motivation to aid your path in your business journey.
Every successful business starts with a passion. Today, we'll explore how discovering your passion can be the driving force behind your entrepreneurial journey. Joining us is Mr. Yeo Keng Joon, an experienced entrepreneur who has turned his passion into a thriving business. Welcome, Mr. Yeo. Before we start, could you perhaps give a short self-introduction about yourself?
I graduated from the NUS Business School with an MBA in 1985. My first degree was from University of Malaya, chemistry, and that was in 1972. So I came to Singapore to do the MBA in NUS. My family and I came, and we didn't go back to KL after that. We stayed on and have been in Singapore since then.
Oh, okay. So as most of our audience may not know, as you mentioned earlier, you're actually from Malaysia. So right now we'll just ask a bit of questions about your background as well as your current business ventures right now. So what made you decide to leave your hometown in Malaysia to pursue a marketing MBA at NUS?
Well, during the 70s when I did my chemistry degree, it was all about chemistry. There was no marketing, no finance, no HR. It was physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, natural products, So the MBA was a very good blend and complemented my education because it gave you a broad view of business management. But having worked after graduation with the first degree for about 10 years, so the MBA was like a course because you can relate to what the lecturers are sharing in terms of, the concepts that they're giving. So the MBA program was excellent in the sense that it was a very systematic package of management education, which enhances and sharpens our management skills, so to speak.
So in other words, you would say that's a very practical program, right?
Yes, a technical degree like science or engineering with an MBA is an excellent combination for career, so to speak.
Okay.
So how have you felt like the MBA has contributed to your career journey so far?
So it has, my first job was with the adhesives company making glue, sticking carpets, making, sticking shoes, packaging cartons, so, cigarettes making and so on. So it really utilized my chemistry, but it did not prepare me for management. So having done the MBA, it gave me an opportunity to advance myself in the hierarchy into the company so that I can move up into a management position. So that's how I progressed with the MBA.
Okay, so in other words, the MBA helped you a lot with your career progression in that sense.
Oh, you must remember, in 1985, NUS MBA was the only act in town, Today is like every other school has got an MBA program. So, we were ahead of our time. So there was a definite advantage for us.
Okay, so now we can move on a bit to your current ventures and as well as business. So did you always want to start like a business of your own? Because as many of our audience may not know, you actually have a quite extensive entrepreneurship background. So could you just elaborate more on like what you're currently doing in this field?
I'm past 70, so I'm retired. So my career path was actually in management. I was in various multinational companies, managing companies. So I raised from a chemist to a technical manager to a manager of an operations. Then I went into a feed company producing animal feeds for poultry and pigs and so on, and then into aquaculture, feeding fish and prawns. So I wouldn't say that I am an entrepreneur per se, but I picked up core competence in the field that I was in a multinational company, and being trained in business gave me the opportunity to be able to pick up where can I utilize my skills and my experience to do my own business. So that's essentially what I've done. So right now, after I retired, a team of my ex-colleagues came up and we set up feed companies producing fish and prawn feeds. We started in Indonesia, in Medan and in Jakarta. Then we progressed on to India. I've since sold off my interest to my Indonesian partners, and I'm now only in India. So in India, we produce pelleted fish feed, sell to the fish farms. And that's something which students in NUS Business School should know. Singapore is a small dot. The market is very small. In aquaculture, when we farm fish or prawns, for example, when in 1 acre lot in Indonesia, maybe half an acre in Singapore, in the island, there, considered very big. In India, they are doing 20-acre size ponds, and the head count is more than 1 billion. So to simplify things, the economy of scale is not here in Singapore. But when you go in for the same effort, we are selling a few thousand tons a month, compared to a few hundred kilos a month here. So it's a different scale. So I would encourage our business school alumni to open up their horizon, go and venture overseas, and that's the opportunity that I've capitalized on, having had the experience in managing companies and understanding what business is all about, and putting together a team of people to exploit using the knowledge and the experience and the connections we have. So it's not entrepreneurship per se in the sense of new technology, disenabling technology. This is less risky because we know the market is there. So when we first started in Indonesia, we ran factory, run very low cost, go to our customers who have been buying from, hey, we sell you at same price or maybe give you a small discount, and we know what the product you're buying, and we went on that basis and build up from there. So the risk for entrepreneurs is not as high because we know how much you can do. Very simple projections to know how much you can sell, what's your cost and what's your overheads and what's the profit you can get, and work out your capital investment required. But you still need various management skills to put together a team of people with enough cash flow to be able to sustain you moving forward before your business builds up.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of business students venturing into the corporate world now will also be in one point be interested in setting up their own business. And like you said, you think that it's better for them to acquire core competencies?
Yes, definitely, 100%. Because when you first graduate, you don't have any money. So to run a business, a sizable business, you need capital, and you cannot bootstrap all the time or depend on your parents' money, So it's difficult if you don't have the resources, people-wise, in terms of the various management skills that you need, marketing, technology, AI, and so on. It's difficult in that sense to start when you just graduate. But having build up some core competence and knowing which industry, what product you think that you can easily sell and people will buy it, it is much easier, it's less risky.
So for example, let's say if they were to go into a company, what should they look out for in terms of learning all these skills that they can pick up?
Well, I mean, in a lot of companies, especially with a business degree, you can go into a management trainee position in, in marketing or in administration or in finance, and pick up from there and what aspect of it you want to do in HR and so on. So the basic business degree is a good basic degree for one to pick various career paths.
To learn about the different business departments.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned just now about how expanding your horizons and developing some key competencies are very critical for business students, especially in Singapore, where the market is very small, right? So we would just like to understand a bit more about and are there any specific challenges there are when collaborating with bigger players, let's say in India, with your collaborations in India and Indonesia, and was there any specific strategy to overcome those challenges?
Okay, maybe I'll address the issue of what are the lessons I've learned over the years. Number one, EQ. We all with business background, you're going to graduate with a business degree. IQ is high enough, but having EQ, managing people, managing difficult employees, managing difficult customers, being able to react to crises, needs a lot of EQ. After you've graduated, you can even, when you have a family, managing your spouse, managing your children, you also need a lot of EQ. So that has to be at the top of our minds, so that going forward, when you know that you have people skills and you can interact well with people and work well with people, that's half the battle won. And two, I have a personal mantra: be good, do good. Do things the right way, ethical, compliant, good corporate governance, to make sure that nobody can have accuse you of having skeletons in the cupboard, so to speak. Okay? So be good and do good. Give. Train your juniors. Be confident enough to be able to get them to be promoted to your position so that you yourself can be promoted. So in giving, it's not just money, time, love, effort, just give. And you will find that things eventually will come back to help you on your career journey.
Okay. So that's a very good sharing about how EQ and how to have the spirit of charity is essential for business students in Singapore. So maybe we can talk more about your time in the Business School Alumni Association. So back when NUSBSA was newly founded in 2000, you, many may not know, but you were the president of the BSA back then, and you kickstarted an initiative called Startup at Singapore. Could you share with us how this idea specifically came about, and ever since then, how it's evolved over the years?
Actually, because I was in the MBA alumni and I was a president, the dean of the business school at that time approached us to help start up something for BBAs, because the predecessors organization went bust. Nobody were interested in moving it. So we did. So I was the founder president for the NUS Business School, and the idea was to put everybody together, and that's what we've done. And it's already 24 years, and we've done very well in that regards. And I'm very happy with the way it has moved. So in one of the activities that we wanted to do at that time was use our business school training and help. As I said, do good, be good. So we wanted to nurture entrepreneurship amongst the youth in Singapore, university students, JCs, polys, and so on. because at that time, entrepreneurship was still very young. Everybody focused on O-level, A-level, get degree, get, CAP score of 5 kind of thing. Nobody think much about entrepreneurship. They are, but, few and far in between. So together with NUS Enterprise as the university partner, NUS Business School as the alumni partner, we provided mentors from alumni. We provided contacts to organizations who can sponsor, because it was a freebie, everything was free, but we had to get money. And then we got the NUS Entrepreneurship Society provide the students to run this. So it was a very good tripartite event, and we did it very successfully for about 15 years. And the reason why we gave up is because we felt that, hey, we've done quite a bit over the years, and for a lot of effort to raise 300,000 every year to run it was a tough call, because more and more people getting into it. SMU also started and so on. So we thought we move on to other things, and we move on to social enterprise, where we ventured with DBS to encourage social entrepreneurship. And that's where I left the scene.
Okay.
But one of the more successful things we did was we were a good feeder for NOC, NUS Alumni College. A lot of the kids who wanted to get in joined NES and were part of Startup Singapore as student leads, marketing, finance, etc. So when they apply for NOC, they tell me, then I would tell the NOC director, hey, this guy is pretty good, no, I recommend. Then they get be better position to be selected for the NOC, because it was quite difficult to get in.
See, the NOC is quite popular among business students and NUS in general. So can tell that entrepreneurship is getting more popular in the youth these days. So what are your thoughts on the future of entrepreneurship in Asia, and what advice will you give those young entrepreneurs? I
think we've done reasonably well. We've got a few icons, PetSnap, Carousel. We hope to get a few more, So, in the process, and that's where we can do much better, get alumni to do something, those of us who have the experience to provide, the mentoring and the advisory, and some seed capital, some can, be financing, because, we have more money than the younger students who are just venturing into entrepreneurship. So there's a lot we can do. I mean, there's already an activity. We have a NAV, which is the NUS Enterprise Village, where we put together all the NUS alumni who are interested to help. And there's about 100 of us, and they do various things where, get the startups to pitch and, get some advice and get some finance if possible.
Yeah. So, it is really a testament to see like your contributions to the startup scene is really very much appreciated, because I'm also actually part of NES also, and I really see how vibrant the culture is in NES, about how they always talk about entrepreneurship, how to step out of your comfort zone. They host events like Unicorn, Ground Zero, to promote the startup scene, and I'm very glad that that we have very good mentors, especially from our past alumni, to provide this sort of support. So it's really good to see that our entrepreneurship scene in NUS in general is still thriving lah. So
I just want to say that you have an interest, bear in mind, keep your eyes open, so that when the opportunity comes, you don't miss it. If you are not having an entrepreneurship mindset, opportunities fly by, you don't even know. But if you have, don't have to be too hasty to jump in. But when you're ready, you got the money, you know what products this is, or what technology this is, and which field it can fulfill, and how you can make a difference, in the sense that you can start a business, then you jump in with your business school training. That's good. So I must commend you guys. for me, I had a very good university education for the very simple reason I was not the library type,
Mhm.
There are many students attend lecture, attend tutorial, go library, go home, and they repeat the same process. Whereas if you're a member of NES or you're a member of BZ Club and you do activities like this, put together, it enhances your education that much. And I'm very glad that, we have quite a lot of active students who want to do this and not just get the paper certificate.
Yeah. The practical skills you develop in
Yeah,
these
of
clubs
course,
are
of
very
course.
valuable.
Teamwork. When you're doing this, you need teamwork. Being able to interact with people, that's a very important skill, part of the EQ that I mentioned. And that's very useful.
Okay. So, as your mantra has always been like to do good and give back to the community. So, besides promoting like the startup scene and the entrepreneurship scene in Singapore, you also very actively involved in giving back to NUS. For example, you launched the NUSBSA Bursary Fund as well as the NUS Bursary Fund for couples. So, what is your main motivation? Like, what is there any sort of personal story or main motivation you have for doing this specifically?
Like many of my cohort, we all come from very poor background, humble beginnings. So for me personally, my father died when I was 6 years old. And my mother, she was illiterate. So she was literally pushed into the workforce, be a housemaid, washerwoman, caretaker, and so on, just to bring my two sisters and I up. So money was difficult to come by. And so we were helped by Hui Guan clan associations, by government bursaries and donors as well. So we know how tough it is for students, even just to pay the tuition fees. So, when we have done well enough and we have the capacity, just keep happy, and it's a joy to be able to give when you know that you have made a difference to someone's life. So when I stepped down as the president of NUSBSA in 2004, 2005, when my son got married in 2006, at the wedding dinner, I gave a check to start the NUS Business School Alumni Bursary. And I named it after my mother. She was alive at that time. And I told her
That's so sweet.
practically,
Mhm.
this bursary is named after you. And long after you and I are gone, one student will get 2,500 each every year, forever. So she got it, I mean, it was something meaningful to her that, we are helping. And, that was how we started. That was how I started my giving journey. So during one of the appreciation dinners in 2010 or 2011, I put up a slide. The more you give, the more you get to give.
Mhm.
And I must categorically make the difference. I'm not saying the more you give, the more you get, no. The more you
Yep.
get to give. So for me, it's been personally very true because I started with a small thing and now I can give more because I think that's how it works, I don't know whether it's self-fulfilling prophecy, but it worked for me.
So actually, in addition to like financial contributions, I'm sure like a lot of alumni would like to give back to NUS Business School. So how do you suggest that in what other ways these alumni can contribute to students of NUS Business?
May change truly, is very, very, very popular saying. So mentorship helps students, especially those who just graduated, So you in an organization and there are alumni coming in, help them, whether you work in DBS Bank or whatever, in the
Mhm.
sense that you have gone that path before, and some of your pointers might help them, in shortcutting some of the pitfalls that they should avoid, So just participating in alumni activities, if after 5-10 years you can be a resource person, speak at one of the events that alumni office holds, A- and I've been trying to push this very much in the business school. especially the MBA program, the lecturers can give the academic framework, but you need practitioners to reinforce this. So get alumni speakers to come and share during one of your classes. That will enhance it that much more.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of alumni share their lessons they have in their journey.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, and likewise for you, you had a very long and illustrious career journey as well. So what are some of the biggest lessons that you feel like you've learned throughout your career so far?
I mean, I am very pleased with how my life has worked out. I came from Malaysia, and if you can see, when I came, the ringgit was 1 to Sing dollar. Now it's 3.5. So, it was a very, very good decision for the family that we moved to Singapore. So in a sense, we have done very, very well personally for us, we have 2 children and 2 grandchildren, and they all have done well in that regards. That they have good careers, and I don't have to worry about how much help I need to give them. They are telling me that give away your money. We don't expect, but you're going to give fine, but we are comfortable in our own rights. And that's what, as parents, we must do to make sure that children can have a better quality of life than what we parents have been giving them.
Okay, so maybe the podcast will we were coming to the end of the podcast already, and is there any specific various avenues or platforms for that you would like to bring up to the students in general for, let's say, to receive help from from monetary side or any sort of guidance? Is there any specific avenue you would like to bring to attention?
Well, in the NUS Business School, we have set up bursaries to help tuition fees. So, that's one. We have another fund which we have set up called NUS Business School Student Experience Fund to help exchange. So students who need more money because they're going to more expensive places can apply. There's money in there. So make use of whatever help you can get so that you can get a more well-rounded education. The idea of us giving support for tuition fees is so that students don't have to do tuition, part-time F&B work, so that they can spend more time, CCA in business school, BZ club, that's what you are doing, and other activities, so that you get a better all-rounded education.
So thank you, Mr. Yeo, for lessons you shared. And maybe to wrap up, is there any a key takeaway that you'd like to leave with our students? One key message you'd like to give them?
No. Be good, do good.
Be good, do good.
Simple as that.
So that's our mantra for today. Be good, do good. So thank you very much for your time, Mr. Yeo, today. And that concludes today's episode of Spotlight series. I hope the viewers are feeling inspired and equipped with the knowledge to pursue their endeavors. A special thank you to Mr. Yeo for sharing his expertise.
If you have enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share this with all your friends. Remember that everyone's journey is unique, but with passion, planning, and resilience, we can all achieve great things.
Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and be a dream maker. Thanks for tuning in.